Okay, this is from Charlie Joe Jackson's Guide to Extra Credit. I'm not going to be doing any annotating here. I'm just going to read it and you do your own annotations. You can stop the recording at any time and write. The conference didn't start off all that bad. Mrs. Farrell told my parents how smart she thought I was and how funny and how they should be proud of my winning personality. He's a true original, was how she put it. Humph, my dad, who didn't seem all that impressed. Well, we do think he's a funny, great kid, said my mom, looking on the bright side as usual. But he needs to find a way to know when to be funny and when to be serious. There's plenty of time to be serious, I argued. I have my whole adult life to be serious. Charlie Joe, enough. That was Dad. He took a deep breath. Ever since you got into middle school, your grades have been getting worse and worse. It's time to buckle down. It would be bad parenting if we just sat here while you threw your talents away. Before I could decide if I wanted to argue or not, Mrs. Farrell reached into her desk and pulled out some sort of pamphlet. I do have an idea that you might want to consider. I glanced nervously at the pamphlet. I was pretty sure it wasn't exactly an invitation on video game school. My dad took a look at the front. Camp. Retuckabee? He said, smiling. Am I pronouncing that right? Mrs. Farrell nodded. Indeed, I gagged. Camp read a bookie? Are you serious? It's a wonderful camp, Mrs. Farrell said, with equal emphasis on sports and academics. My dad thumbed through the brochure. Looks interesting. I was too horrified to form any actual words. This was my summer they were messing with. Mrs. Farrell looked at me. Now, Charlie Joe, I know what you're going to say about the idea of going to a place like this, but I wouldn't suggest it if I didn't think you would enjoy it. Yes, it's got some classwork, but it's also got some typical summer camp with games and dances and all that kind of stuff. Poor, clueless Mrs. Farrell. She didn't understand that games and dances were just as much of a turn-off as classwork. But my dad was into it. I really like the looks of this place, I have to say. He held out the brochure to me and grinned like an evil wizard. Want to take a look? No thanks, I said, but he gave it to me anyway. It was filled with kids reading and writing and doing other school-type things. There was one kid in a canoe, but he was wearing glasses and an oversized life jacket. He looked like he would be much happier with a dictionary than a paddle. I tossed the brochure on the table and looked at my mom, begging her to speak up on my behalf, but I knew it was useless. The train to Camp Read-a-Bookie was leaving the station, and my mom wasn't about to lie across the tracks to stop it. But I was. Well, what if I get straight A's this quarter? I blurted out before realizing it. No one said anything. I think they were all in shock. It's the last quarter of the year. How about if I get straight A's and you guys won't send me, okay? That sounds fair, said my mom, always ready to make a deal. My dad snorted a laugh. Straight A's? You've never gotten straight A's in your life. Good point, I had to admit. You say it all the time. If I work harder and concentrate on my schoolwork, I could really get good grades. Sorry, guys, that was my phone. Bad, Ms. Gomez. I could really get good grades, I pointed out. That's a big if, Mrs. Farrell said. The quarter started over a week ago, and you're already off to a shaky start. I know it's a big if, I answered, suddenly very determined to pull this off. But if I can do it, I should be able to do whatever I want this summer, like sleep and watch TV and play with the dogs and hang out with my friends like a normal kid, and not have to do some stupid camp that's really more like school. The three adults in the room looked at each other. Straight A's, Dad said. Straight A's with one B, I said, remembering my hopelessness at science. I should be allowed one free B. A free B, my mom said, cracking herself up. Charlie Joe, if I'd known what it would take to get you to apply yourself in school, I would have shown your parents this brochure at camp a long time ago. My dad got out of his chair and walked to the window where he could see a bunch of kids getting off the school bus. Pete and Timmy were there, doing typical middle school things like jumping on each other and punching each other in the arm and laughing. Finally, my dad turned around and looked at my mom, who nodded. It's a deal, he said. Okay, now I'm going to read these questions. Again, you can stop it at any time and answer and show your evidence. Paragraphs 1 through 8 contribute to the plot by A. hinting at how Charlie Joe will resolve his problem. B, describing the qualities that others enjoy about Charlie Joe. C, providing the reason for Charlie Joe's conflict. Or D, establishing Charlie Joe's discomfort in the setting. Number 10. Read the sentence from paragraph 20. He held out the brochure to me and grinned like an evil wizard. The author uses a simile in the sentence to reveal that Charlie Joe's father is excited to have found a solution even if his son does not like it. G, has an unusual ability to make his son agree to things he dislikes doing. H, is pretending that he likes the camp so his son will also like it. J, knows that his son will try to find an alternative to going to the camp. Next one. Why do paragraphs 23 and 24 mark a turning point in the story? A, Charlie Joe's parents want to get his opinion about going to summer camp. B, Charlie Joe understands that he should have worked harder in class. C, Charlie Joe's parents decide that the summer camp sounds like a good idea. D, Charlie Joe recognizes that Charlie Joe recognizes that only he can save his plans for a fun and relaxing summer. 12. Based on paragraphs 18 and 19, the reader can conclude that Charlie Joe thinks Mrs. Farrell does not understand what kind of activities kids really enjoy. G, has found a way that may make his classwork more fun. H, does not really believe that he can improve his grades. J, is treating him unfairly by suggesting he attend summer camp. What is the best summary of the story? A, Charlie Joe attends a conference with his parents and his teacher. His father says that Charlie Joe's grades have worsened and he must improve. The teacher hands Charlie Joe's father a brochure about a camp, and Charlie Joe realizes it's an educational camp. Because of this, he does not want to go. B, one day at school, Charlie Joe and his parents attend a conference with Charlie Joe's teacher. At first, Mrs. Farrell describes Charlie Joe's good qualities, but Charlie Joe's father is concerned about his academic performance. Mrs. Farrell suggests that Charlie Joe attend a summer camp that is educational but also fun. C, Charlie Joe meets with his parents and teacher for a conference at school. Charlie Joe does not want to go to summer camp. Instead, he says he will get good grades. His parents are not sure whether to accept his offer, so they try to determine whether Charlie Joe is serious. D, during a parent-teacher conference, Charlie Joe's teacher suggests that Charlie Joe attend a educational summer camp. Charlie Joe's father thinks the camp is a good idea, but Charlie Joe does not want to go. He bargains to make excellent grades rather than attend the camp, and his parents agree to this offer. Wow, could they say Charlie Joe any more times? All right, apparently yes. Number 14. Which sentence best explains why Charlie Joe's father considers sending Charlie Joe to camp Read a Bookie? F, finally my dad turned around and looked at my mom, who nodded. G, you've never gotten straight A's in your life. H, it would be bad parenting if we just sat here while you threw your talents away. J, my dad thumbed through the brochure. All right, next one. 15. The first person point of view helps the reader understand. A, Charlie Joe's dad is serious about sending him to camp. B, why Charlie Joe's mom will not help him. C, the way Mrs. Farrell views Charlie Joe. D, Charlie Joe's reasons for not wanting to go to the summer camp. What does the conversation between Charlie Joe and his parents in paragraph 26 through 30 suggest? F, Charlie Joe thinks that being able to avoid going to summer camp will be an easy task. G, Charlie Joe's mother believes that the summer camp will not offer any benefit to Charlie Joe. H, Charlie Joe feels inspired to do better in school because of his parents' faith in his abilities. J, Charlie Joe's father doubts that Charlie Joe will be able to achieve the goal that he has set for himself. All Alright, 17. Read this sentence from paragraph 22. The train to Camp Read a Bookie was leaving the station, and my mom wasn't about to lie across the tracks to stop it. The author uses figurative language in this sentence to show that A. Charlie Joe does not want to go to the camp so far away from home. B. Charlie Joe's mom will not save him from having to go to camp. C. Charlie Joe's mom realizes that camp may be dangerous. D. Charlie Joe does not want to act against his mother's wishes. Okay, now this one is going to be your revision. Read the introductory passage and then answer the questions that show and understand the function of a compound and complex sentence in reading and writing. So again, this is going to be revising. Look for run-ons, words to rephrase, that kind of stuff. This part cannot be read to you. You have to read this one to yourself, okay? Good luck and raise your hand if you have any questions.